Welcome to Sips with the Suriel. I'm Jenna.
I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dina.
We're just three best friends who like to get together and talk books. We would love for you to follow along each week, just like a book club. We'll tell you the week before what book we will be discussing so you can make sure you've read it. If you check out our Instagram, each of us likes to make art, so we will post our art interpretations for each book. And what are we discussing today, Dina?
Today we're discussing Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know if I ever say her name right. Is it
I,
Yarros?
I think it is Yaros.
Probably Yaros.
What
Okay,
else could
okay. We'll go with
Yaros?
Yarros.
Yaros.
But as always, if you haven't read it yet, please pause, go read, because just like the cereal, we're spilling the tea. And speaking of tea, what are we sipping on today?
We are sipping on Xaden's Shadow, which
I'm
turned out red,
I'm very
not black.
disappointed. My practice run on
Yeah, your
Saturday was
practice one was
much
super dark.
darker. I
Wait,
know. I
did I get
think
a picture of your practice?
Yeah, she sent it to us.
yes, yes.
Oh, was that Saturday night?
Yeah,
I feel like
Oh,
you
But
were
girl, I was like 5 tequilas in, and
Saturday you were living it up.
I was living it up. I was
We're
living it up.
bringing that back.
We're bringing it back around. I'm going through my text messages
It's
now.
so far. Like just go to the
Whoopsie.
pictures.
Whoopsies.
Yeah,
But it
it
looked
was
delicious. Because didn't
it
you
was
use
Oh
you did
shit,
you
that
use
looks really
pomegranate?
good. And you even did a picture with it. Wow, I
yeah.
was not
I was
paying
like, let me
attention.
get ahead of and I was like, shoot, I should have garnished it with a blackberry and I didn't. So it's supposed to be darker and I think I didn't use enough blackberries and why it came out so red because it has Chambord, which is already like a red raspberry color.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has vodka and simple syrup and some lime juice. And then you muddle the raspberries, the blackberries,
Well,
which it actually is very
Sounds
tasty.
muddle,
delicious.
muddle, muddle.
Hmm
And I have
hmm
now saved that picture so I can post it to our Instagram.
You
Yes. And
nutso.
recipe coming soon,
Good
if
job,
not already.
Dina. Good job. The picture looks
And to
great.
our own personal bartender, Bob.
Yes, yes. He did help tweak.
Yeah,
I got the
Dina
base
found it.
idea and then he tweaked the recipe for us.
There you go. He's a
Mhm.
good tweaker.
Yeah. No cheap stuff up in here.
Isn't a tweaker like a junkie?
When you're tweaking?
Yeah. Like call
Yeah,
someone
when
a
you're tweaking,
tweaker.
it's like you're on drugs, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's a good tweaker, is what you just said.
And twerker.
Oh,
Tweaking
oh,
and twerking.
Bob, get him in here. Let's see some twerking.
Tweaking and twerking. If I texted him right now, are you tweaking and twerking?
He's
He's
gonna
gonna
be
think
He'd
we're
like,
be
on
like,
what?
crack.
what are you guys even recording?
He's
What
like,
is going to be on
cut
there?
Dina off.
He's gonna like, please stop talking about me on the podcast.
He's going to say, cut that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All
All
right,
right.
Danielle, you're up, baby.
Okay, guys. So this is fresh for me because I just finished.
Mm.
So how long did it take me? So I did the audio of this, which I highly
Graphic,
recommend because it had
Oh
graphic
yeah.
novel.
yeah, because it had
Yeah.
multiple characters. It was so sexy. Um, and yeah, so I started Christmas break and then I finished a while ago, a couple weeks ago, because then I powered through Iron Flame. So anyway, all
Yes.
right. So fresh, fresh,
And
fresh
now
for
you're
me.
ready with. So you're not you don't have all these questions like I do when I was reading the beginning part of Onyx Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Everything's fresh in your mind.
But then I
But
opened Onyx Storm and it had all the characters in the front, which was nice, and they paired everybody off. So that was
that was
cool.
helpful. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah,
sorry.
we don't want to talk about the other
little
ones yet.
guide that you sent me, Dina, that little guide,
It was
that
good.
spoiler-free guide was very helpful because there's so many names in Onyx Storm that I was like, who the hell is Llewellyn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Danielle
We're not
knows.
talking. We're not talking about
No.
the next book yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
at a time, and this is a
Let's
two-parter, people,
Yes, this is a
Oh
two-parter.
yes. Yes.
because we just have so much to say about everybody. All right, so Violet Soaringale is a new conscript at Basgiath War College who's being forced by her mother to join the Riders Quadrant, where she will train to become an elite dragon rider as long as she survives the challenges. Growing up, Violet was training to be a scribe like her father, but her mother insists otherwise. Violet's mother is General Soaringale, a high-ranking officer in the Kingdom of Devar. Violet's older sister Mira is also a dragon rider. She warns her to stay away from Xaden Ryerson, whose father, Fen Ryerson, was executed by their mother a few years back for leading a rebellion. It's likely that he'll want her dead for revenge. The children of the rebellion leaders were marked with a rebellion tattoo and were forced to become dragon riders. So right off the bat, we got a lot going on here. Okay, we got
Hmm.
all these kids whose parents were executed in front of them. Okay, a little much there, and then they're tattooed and said, "Hey, you must do this or die, and then
Aren't
you
they
may
like
die
tattooed?
anyway."
Aren't they tattooed by Dragonfire, right?
I don't know if it's Dragonfire, but I think it has like it's almost like a relic in itself
Yeah, they
because,
call
Yeah.
it a relic,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They called them marked ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
What are
know.
the
I'm looking that up while
tattoos?
you keep going,
Oh,
Dave.
okay. I was gonna look it up, but you got it. Okay. But yeah, that's a lot going on right there.
Hmm.
Because becoming a dragon rider, as we're about to find out, is pretty fucking intense.
Hmm.
All right, so Violet and Mir's older brother, Brennan, died fighting against the rebellion forces, and he was a healer. So that was his signet. We will get into that. Everybody, once you become a dragon rider, gets a signet of power from your dragons. Enter the rider's quadrant. You must first cross the narrow and dangerous parapet. So the parapet, if you ever look up images of this, because in my brain I was just like, this is absolutely terrifying. Just looking at it, I would
Hmm.
never do.
Hmm.
Um, this tiny narrow pathway, a little bit bigger than like the width of you, I'm imagining, and you have to walk, plummeting sides next to you, right? So you have to walk across and windy conditions, whatever, slippery. If it's raining, they don't care. You just got to walk across and make it to the other side. And if you survive, awesome. If you don't, well, you're dead
Bye.
and bye. See you later. So right off the bat, we're starting off not easy to become a rider.
Which is
Um,
crazy. Like, I don't think I would ever
no,
choose
never.
to do like as cool as it would to have a dragon.
Hmm.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to
No.
the scribe unit.
Right. That's
Bye.
what cracks me up. Like she was a very good scribe, like, and her father, who she admires, was a
Mm.
beautiful, wonderful scribe. And she's just like, no, give me a writer. And we didn't, I don't know if we say it later, but she is riddled with health problems.
Oh, I
Like
know.
her
Yeah,
body
very
is
weak.
broken,
Hmm.
weak. So for her to do all these challenges is a challenge in itself.
Hmm.
So, all right, most first years die before they even arrive. Around 15% die. The parapet is a test to see how well a cadet will be able to balance to ride dragons. So, I mean, I get it, but also, can you do it without them dying? Maybe.
I know, right? Like maybe a net.
Right? Like, catch you. Okay, you're eliminated.
Yeah, right.
This
But
is
you're
like a
not
little
dead.
bit
You're
of,
just,
it's almost like
you're not,
Squid Games,
yeah, you're not eliminated from life, just the writer's quadrant.
right? Like, why can't you go on to have a different job? Like,
Yeah,
you're not a rider anymore, but you can have a different job.
right.
All right. So as Violet starts to cross, she sees Jack Barlow, this motherfucker, throw
Ugh.
another candidate. And before they even get onto the parapet, he's like already taunting and being a dick, a show off, whatever. But he throws off another candidate off the parapet and then charges at her. And she spins around and holds a dagger to stop him. And she tells him he is not allowed to kill her since other riders are present and it's against the rules. Because she's super awesome. And because she's a scribe, she knows all the rules to everything.
Hmm.
So that saves her a lot.
Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. I'm going to
Oh,
interject.
go ahead.
Found out. Okay. So, um, the relics were created by Kodag, I think that's right.
Kodak.
Yeah.
The dragon of General Melgren. The
Hmm.
dragon marked the offspring of those involved in the
Yeah,
rebellion
you're right.
with
Oh.
distinctive patterns. This act served dual purposes. It was both a punitive measure and a method of identifying those with direct ties to the rebellion. So
How
basically
did that
punishing the
dragon
children.
even do that without like burning them? Like, how did it
So I
delicately burn them?
So I remember that Xaden said that his dad made them hold the rune stones
Oh,
to
yeah.
protect them. So I guess like every tribe
Oh, that's right.
That's
Yeah.
that's in another book though. That's in Iron Flame.
is it?
Oh.
Yes.
I thought it was in Fourth Wing. Whoops.
Sorry. Spoiler. Spoiler.
But
Never
is it
mind.
really a spoiler? I
I
mean, we
mean,
find
no,
out a
but
little bit more.
because the
It's just a little
runes
bit
are
more.
important in Iron Flame, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but basically, the line that I looked up, it said that Violet asked Xaden how he got it, he said when Melgren's dragon tried to kill them with fire, he was holding the stone and all he felt was like the burn on his skin of the relic being formed.
Ugh,
Oh, oh,
that's so sad.
that
Hmm.
is sad.
All because you're his kid.
Right.
Hmm.
How terrible. And I mean, thankfully, they're pretty badass. So when they joined the Rider Squadron, they didn't fail.
Well,
But
they're not even joining. They were all Mark
right.
ones are forced to join the
Right,
right.
right, right.
Okay, sorry, I
No,
interrupted.
it's okay. So Violet manages to survive and make a friend in the process, Rhiannon. Violet traded her
Love
left
that.
boot with her because she
Mm.
saw that she was not wearing rider's boots on the parapet walk. So she needed to grip it better and she sacrificed a foot, a shoe.
A
So
foot.
sweet.
I know.
Right? I mean, well, that's a dangerous thing to cross. And then you're going there with
Absolutely.
And then
one
wasn't
good
it
foot.
like a storm happening at the time?
Yes,
Like the
because her
winds were
Yeah.
mother's
really
a
high.
because her mother's an asshole
You know
and
her
Hmm.
did
mother did
not
that on purpose.
stop the weather when her daughter's crossing the parapet.
Yeah,
And she has the
mother,
power to do
yeah.
so.
100%. Hey, mom, move this storm over. Thanks. Love you.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think that she created the storm to give
Yeah,
Violet
because she
a
says
challenge?
later when she's reflecting on parapet that her mother could have easily changed the storm and that she purposely had the storm to make her stronger
Don't
during
like it.
parapet.
Not nice. Not
No,
nice.
Mm-mm.
awful. Terrible. All right, so then once she crosses, yay, she gets across. She finds Dane Atos, a childhood friend in second year, and Dane's father is her mother's trusted advisor. So Dane tries to convince Violet to go to the squad quadrant because he wants to keep her safe, and he knows she's weak because they grew up together. Um, he thinks she's weak. We know that she is not, but she pushes back. So we see that relationship forming where he's trying to be the protector, and she's just like, buddy, I'm strong. I'm a badass.
I can do this.
Right?
I got
Yeah.
So Violet and Rhiannon join Dane's squad. The Rider Squadron is divided into 4 wings, and Xaden, third year, is the wing leader of fourth wing. And Xaden moves
it.
Dane's squad to his sections. Reasons to come. I wrote that there to remind me later to bring that up.
Reasons to
So,
come.
so remind me later if I don't remember to bring it up.
Okay.
All right. Violet and the cadets take classes in battle strategy and discuss recent attacks on their borders. So it's like a college. They're really like learning and studying how to defend the land. Violet knows from library duty that there are also attacks that they are not being told about in the nearby kingdom of. Now, is it because I can't remember how they said it in the audio? Is it
Horm-
Poromiel?
Por
Hormeal?
Hormel? Hormel?
Yeah.
I'm doing the audio too right now, and they say it a lot.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Pormeal.
literally doing both at the same time.
So it's a tricky word because every time I try to look it up for the pronunciation, it brought me to TikTok and I deleted TikTok. So now I can't
Oh.
look it up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, has ramped up their invasion attempts and are sending out Griffin flyers to raid their supplies. So Violet has never had combat training, and Rhiannon agrees to help train her if she helps Rhiannon with history classes. Got like a cute little friendship here. I'll train you, you train me. During the sparring sessions, Jack Barlow, the stupid guy again from Parapet, breaks the neck of a first year and kills him. Now, this is where it didn't bother me so much in Fourth Wing, but it did bother me in Iron Flame. They're just killing people left and right during training. Like, this should not be
Yeah.
okay. Like, stop and break them down and then say, okay, you're eliminated. Because
Right.
you need an army. You need an army. You need these people to be riders for a reason. So now
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
losing. But Violet goes up against a girl with pink hair named Imogen who breaks her arm and dislocates her shoulder, which, as you will see later, she dislocates her shoulder like every other day.
Her knees.
She
Yeah.
always her knee locking in and out, her shoulders popping in
Her
and
knee
out.
is like the most fucked of them all, I think.
Yes.
And then can you imagine riding a dragon with I mean, I get out of bed. I just twisted my arm the other day. You're just like, ouch. She is riddled with problems and she has to ride a dragon for hours. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
And
aching.
and fight other cadets.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So she's dislocating her shoulder, and Imogen's mom was one of Fenroyson's separatists.
It-
So also she is one
yeah.
of the marked ones.
Rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dane takes her to the healers. This was fun to learn. Like in the beginning, like oh, there's healers, so they literally like magically heal you from your wounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Um,
what there's scribes, healers, riders, and infantry.
yeah.
I think
Yes.
infantry
hmm
is like on the ground
The
combat.
ground.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
because there's some like stuff later on with them, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Iron
Yes.
Flame people, yeah.
There we go.
hmm
There you
I
go.
know. I know we're referencing it a lot, but all right. But tries to get Violet to change her mind. Enjoy the scribe. I'm like, why can't I have say these two words together the whole night? It's
Why the
scribe quadrant, and as a late admission, but she refuses again.
Mm.
So shut it up, Dane.
Shut
Stop it,
up,
Dane?
Dave.
Later that night, Violet returns to the barracks in a sling, and Mira left her brother's journal, which she calls the Book of Brennan, which is super cute because they always have like
Hmm.
little tidbits of like,
I really like that.
it was really
Yeah.
sweet. And then when you listen to the audio, it's like in his voice, which is really nice.
Hmm.
One night she wanders out to gather berries and she climbs a tree, but she is interrupted by Xaden, Imogen, and other first years.
Oh, I love
Xaden's been leading meetings with other marked children, and a meeting of three or more marked ones is illegal. She sees that he's giving the younger ones advice on getting through the training and challenges. When the coast is clear, Violet sneaks out of the tree, but Xaden is waiting for her and surprises her. Xaden's signet is a shadow wielder, and he can use his shadows to disorient and manipulate things. But surprisingly, he doesn't try to kill her, which is funny because Mira said in the beginning, watch out for him. And he has every reason to kill her. But
I think she even questions him at this point, like, why don't you just do it already? And he's
right.
like, he says something like, what's the fun in that, right? Or
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. He was like taunting her, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's more fun to see you on the mat or something like that, he said, right?
I mean, and at this point, I was like, he's totally not going to kill her. They're totally going to fall in love. Like, this is not happening. I already knew it.
Here's
I'm like,
a
they're mates.
they're
Like for
mates.
rapid.
All right, so in class, Violet learns that the wards are faltering more and more, meaning that either Navarre is weakening or their enemies are getting stronger. But they also discuss the different dragon types. Xaden's dragon, Sigale, is a blue dagger tail, and she does whatever she wants, and her previous rider was a relative of Xaden. And we'll get into the more of that probably in the next book. I don't, or part two. Maybe part two we talk about it.
Yeah.
Black dragons are the rarest and most intelligent of dragons, and there are only two black dragons in existence. One belongs to General Melgren, an asshole, and the
Mm.
other has refused to bond since his previous and only rider was killed during an uprising. So his previous rider, Naylan, I think that's how you said it.
Neolin? Neol
Naylan
Neolin? Neolin?
had a siphoning signet. So when you siphon, you take the powers out of someone else, which meant he could absorb powers, and then he used it to redistribute. But he tried to use his siphoning power to resurrect someone, but killed himself in the process of doing it. And the person he was trying to resurrect was Brennan.
Mm-mm.
Poor Brennan. It
Yeah.
was when I read that chapter, I was just like, oh, that's like because Violet's in the class where they're talking about the dragons and they're learning about them, and she goes, "It was my brother, right?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it was."
Uh,
It's so sad because
so
she was young
sad.
because at this point he's been gone for 6 years. So she's what did
You're
we say? She's
20.
20.
You're 20 when you
Yeah. So
enter
that was young when he
Basgiath
he
College.
passed away.
Hmm. And I think one part that we didn't kind of touch on was the whole wards thing. Like the wards is
Oh
what
yeah.
kind of holds together the magic within the realm, right? Or like
Mm-hmm.
their
It
what is it
it's
like not continent, but
it's like
area.
it's like their protective barrier from the outside, you know, nation that they're been at war with Pormeal
Or meal.
for like what did it say?
600 years.
Centuries? Yeah,
Yeah.
centuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wards kind of
Because the
protect
wards
them
went up like
safe.
600 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the wards also, I think, allowed the dragons to have the magic, or it has something to
Yes.
do, right? They have more magic
Mm-hmm.
because of it.
Mm-hmm. All
Um,
right. Go ahead, Jenna.
okay. So Violet starts using her knowledge of foraging and herbs because she's like, I am a scrawny little weakling with a lot of fragile bones. I'm gonna need to use my brain to help me beat these people on the mat during these sparring matches. So she starts poisoning her opponents so they like get food poisoning or like come down with like a fever or throwing up like right before they have to spar and like she's like automatically like the winner. Xaden figures this out and one day when one of her opponents had to be taken to the healers before the match, Xaden stepped in to spar with her, which was so hot. Um, Later, Dane and Violet get into an argument because Dane asked the scribe Markham if they would still take Violet to the quadrant. He's still trying.
Hmm.
She's upset because she feels that Dane doesn't think she can cut it as a writer. She wants to prove herself. He's worried about what will happen at threshing. So the rider candidates have practice sessions going through the gauntlet, which sounds awful. It's an obstacle course designed to weed out the weaker riders before threshing because, if you're not the strongest, those dragons are going to burn you alive anyway at threshing. They're
Can
not
you
going to
imagine?
choose you.
Like,
They're just going to be like, you done.
like if someone were to tell me all the steps to become a dragon rider, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Parapet, gauntlet, then threshing? No.
No, thanks.
Like even if I pass all those tests,
Yeah.
threshing, I could still get burned alive because they don't like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So they will
nothing to
have
do.
practice sessions in the gauntlet before they are ranked by their final performance for the presentation. This is where the dragons find the riders worthy at threshing. The course is designed to mimic the challenges riders will face in battle. So, I mean, it makes sense. So
Yeah.
during practice, Sawyer completes the course easily. Violet recites dragon facts as she goes through the course. So, kind of like what she did in the parapet to calm her down. She's like reciting all her scribe training and all that. And Oriel, or I never said the name right,
Oh, really?
Aurelie falls to her death, which was yikes,
That
spikes.
was so sad the way it happened.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
a total of 20 candidates died during the gauntlet practice. Later,
Which is like crazy because she's meeting all these people, and the next minute you're like, oh, why
Yeah.
did I bother learning your name? You're gone.
well, didn't Mira even said like don't bother making friends, her sister
Hmm.
Mira.
Yeah. Yeah.
So later Violet sees Xaden and they talk briefly. She admits that she's too short to span the distance of one of the obstacles in the gauntlet. He tells her the right way to overcome the obstacle isn't the only way, which that line came full circle in Onyx Storm.
But
Hey,
isn't
It's
that
not a spoiler, but
but also like this is the point where you kind of start seeing the difference between the way Dane treats her
Mhm.
and the
yeah.
way they like Xaden doesn't give her any of these handicaps. Like
Hmm.
he treats
Yeah.
her like an equal.
Because when they
Right.
sparred on the mat, he even was like, I know what you're doing, and here's how you're sparring wrong. Because look how easily I can disarm you. Protect this part, do this, do
Hmm.
Hmm.
that. So, yeah, he was like antagonizing her, but also teaching her at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
Dane's, putting on kid gloves with her.
Yeah, he's just like maybe you should just leave.
Yeah.
Like
Let's
no.
go home.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Violet struggles with the chimney obstacle that is meant to simulate the strength and agility it takes to mount a dragon. So presentation day arrives and Dane is upset with Violet shock for going through with the gauntlet and presentation after then taking his rather than taking his advice to join the scribes. She goes through the obstacle course and overcomes the chimney by using a rope to buoy herself to its surface. And I think like some people were like, that's cheating.
Mm.
Her last obstacle is a wooden ramp that juts out from a cliff wall. So she's too short for it, but she remembers how Xaden said the right way isn't the only way. So she jumps onto the ramp and uses her daggers to fling herself up the last foot to clear it, and she completes the gauntlet.
Yay. But then didn't someone question her and we're like, that's
Yeah,
cheating? And
you're
then
right.
she's
That
like,
it was that part. Sorry.
yeah, then
Yeah.
she's quoting the rules because she's awesome and she knows everything. And it's
Yeah.
like
She like
whatever you cross the parapet with, you're allowed to use.
hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
she's got like a photograph.
Yeah, it's on your person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Amber from the third wing argues that she cheated. Violet accepts a 30 second penalty for using the ropes on the chimney, but she claims the knives she used did not constitute cheating because of a rule stating that once the rider carries something across the parapet, that item is considered part of their person, and therefore
Mhm.
the knives are part of her person.
Yep.
So the dragons await the candidates. This was like the nail biter, right? They're like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? Who's going to
You
burn
know.
alive by dragons?
And
So,
everybody's being so chatty about like, I want that one. Bitch, you
Yeah.
will
yeah, like,
get
I
what
want the
you
blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cadets are instructed to talk to one another as they pass the dragons to help the dragons get a sense of who they are. They're advised to avoid eye contact. A small golden feather tail
Mhm.
shows up at the end of the line. Luca points out that the dragon is too small to carry a rider into the battle and that its gold color is actually yellow. A cadet named Pryor is killed by one of the dragons. I think he just walked by the dragon and the dragon was like,
Yeah.
boink.
Yeah,
Not
he
you.
was he was standing in front. Pryor being was Pryor the one who's being a dick?
No, I think he
No,
was just
it's
nervous and
Luca.
chatty.
Luca was the
Yeah.
one being a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
Um,
Pryor really deserved it.
yeah, he was just walking, I think.
Yeah.
Two green dragons take an interest in Violet. They are drawn in by the scent of her dragon scale armor from Mira's dragon. Tine.
I
I
heard them
actually
say
looked it up.
tiny,
It is. I looked it up. It's
right?
tiny.
Oh,
Because they said it in in the audio I was listening. I was like, tiny? Who's
oh, I
tiny? And
thought it
then I
was
realized it was,
Tine.
I
I
know,
know. It's
same.
tiny, which is funny.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of
Luca
cute.
Yeah.
Luca is also killed because he's a jerk. Finally, it's threshing, which is the day when cadets will be taken to a field to approach and hopefully be selected by a dragon. The bond between a dragon and its rider is what makes someone a dragon rider. The bond gives the rider a minor magic powers and a signet power. So the signet is the stronger one, and you never know what you're going to get. The stronger the bond and the dragon, the stronger the signet powers will be. So the dragons start to arrive in the valley, and Violet climbs a tree to get a better view. Jack Barlow, the worst human to ever exist, Orin and Tynan show up and are planning to kill the golden feather tail, thinking it's weak and a liability to the safety of the other dragons and riders. Because
What
it's like
makes them
your
think as a
job.
first year that they could kill a dragon?
Like that's
Tiny
Yeah.
your
or
job.
not?
Right.
Ridiculous. So she decides to warn the dragon of the guy's plans, but when she hops out of the tree, she hurts her ankle. Shock.
Of
Surprise.
course.
She
It's not her
finds
knee.
she finds the feather tail and warns it to leave, but the dragon doesn't listen, seemingly oblivious to the danger. The guys overhear Violet and go to confront her, but Xaden steps in. And then Segal is behind him.
Gale.
Segal, sorry,
It's a
Segal.
gale.
I can't say these names, guys.
I know.
Segal is Xaden's dragon.
So
So,
I wanted to say real quick because I don't know if we'll say it later, but there are less dragons willing to bond
Oh,
each
yes.
oh
year.
yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
this is
more
a
riders than
significant time.
dragons. And
Yes.
whose second time was it around? They
They
didn't
didn't
get
get it.
bonded the first round?
You're right.
Was that an Iron Flame though? Or was
No, no,
that
no. In
in
Fourth Wing,
it's in
someone
Fourth
didn't
Wing?
bond, and so they were a second year but didn't bond, and then they bonded this time. I forget who it
Oren?
was.
I think it's Oren.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll
Oren?
look. I'll
Oren?
look it up. Keep going, Jenna.
Writing him
Sorry.
up. Okay. So Jack Barlow tells Xaden there's nothing he can do since a wing leader isn't supposed to intervene during threshing. So the guys attack Violet, but she starts fighting them off, which forces Jack to run away because he's a little bitch. She knocks Orin unconscious, and just as Tynan is about to attack her, a huge black, which if you remember is
Oh, Sawyer.
originally
Sorry,
two.
Sawyer. It was Sawyer.
Oh,
Oh,
He repeated his
Sawyer.
first year.
I like Sawyer.
I know. I like
I do
Sawyer a
too.
lot.
So yeah, a huge black unbonded dragon, and remember, there's only two of them in existence that we know about, shows up and tucks the golden dragon under his wing,
Hmm.
and the dragon incinerates Tynan. The dragon starts speaking to Violet in her head, like mind speaking, and she realizes that the big, badass black dragon is choosing her. Ba,
Hmm.
ba.
So it's so cool because that's the one that the writer tried to save her brother. So it's kind of like it was meant to be.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
know. All right.
All right, Dina, it's you, girl.
Okay, so he's choosing her and he actually like lends his leg, like he bends down and makes his leg a ramp for her so she can mount him because he knows
So cute.
that she's going to have trouble getting on because she's smaller.
Yeah.
And this is something totally unexpected because it's not something that dragons would normally do. They're the alpha.
They
You
don't
do what they
accommodate.
say, not the other way around. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
accommodate humans. So that was kind of a shock right there. And then we find out that his name is, oh God.
Karen.
Yeah, it's Taryn, but Taryn Inanakan,
Oh, Taryn not.
his
Taryn
real
not.
name.
Tarn yeah. I heard an interview with Rebecca Yarros, and she said it not even remotely the way we say it. It's like Tarnanok or something like
Well,
that.
she
Oh
can't.
my
She
God.
can't possibly think we know how to say
It's like
that.
obviously
I
very
know.
Irish, and
I
I
read
can't.
that
Oh.
SJM uses a lot of her names are Gaelic inspired. So I
Okay.
Oh.
wonder
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Rebecca Yaris does with these names.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask her when she's on the pod.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Putting
Right.
it into the universe.
Gonna
Yes.
see if I can get like a Google
But he
pronunciation.
also has like this long, like, uh, leader of the da 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 and the great da da da. Like, he has this long, like, title too that he, like,
Yeah.
tells her, and, like, she's just like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna remember this. So anyway, she mounts and they fly away. When he does like a turn, she ends up falling off, but catches her in the free fall, which again, if you fall off, like, yeah, you're dead. He's not going to go for you. And in this case, he shocked everybody and he went and caught her. So obviously, he finds there's something special about her
hmm
because what is going on here?
Right. Super
And
cute.
then he tells her, she's wondering, like, why did you choose me of all people like me? What's so special? And he told her that he chose her because she saved the golden feather tail and that she's the smartest of her year. So they land in a field of the other newly bonded riders, and the golden feather tail is there waiting for them. And then she also starts speaking to Violet in her head and tells her her name. Oh God. And Darnamram, and
Darnarum?
Darna for short. And she also says that she wants to bond with her. So
Double dragons.
exactly, two dragons. Isn't that from like what is that from? Oh gosh. Two dragons. Okay, anyways. Um so Jack ended up bonding. Jack. He
I
bonded with
know.
an orange scorpion tail, and Rhiannon bonded with a green dagger tail. Dane finds Violet and heard the news that she bonded two dragons and tells her that she needs to choose Andarna because she's the safer option. So again, Dane, back off. Oh my
Do you
Right.
guys
God.
want to hear? I found a Google
Oh,
pronoun.
the pronunciation?
It's
Yes.
it's Scottish. So ready?
Oh, there
Oh.
you go.
Tarnenoch,
What?
Oh.
Tarnenoch, Tarnenoch,
Ta
That's
Tagna.
Taryn's full name?
Tagna.
Tarnenoch.
That's so
Tarn.
nuts.
Tagna.
All right. Well, see,
Tagna.
there you go. SJM and Rebecca Yarros. They like
Scottish
the
and Gaelic.
Scottish and the Irish.
Yeah. All right, there you
So
go.
it's Taryn and Andarna.
Yeah. Yep.
The Texas twang here.
There we
No.
go. I like it.
Taryn.
So there's never been an instance where two dragons are bonding with one rider. But the Imperium meets, which the Imperium is the like dragon committee, right? Like
Yes.
their
hmm
royalty thing. Okay. And they meet and they decide that it is permissible so that the humans have no choice but to accept it.
Right.
Of course,
Dragon picks you.
yeah, of course, they're like, no, this is not fair. That's not right. They can't do it. But too bad it's happening.
Too bad.
Violet ends up learning that Taryn is Sigale's mate. I told you there was a mate.
Oh, you did.
The mated pairs can't be separated for long or their health diminishes. So they're always stationed together. So basically, if Violet is bonded to Taryn, then she and Xaden's fate are also tethered together because if a dragon dies, well, then so will its rider. Not necessarily the other way around, though. But basically, Xaden has to help keep Violet alive.
For his own
Otherwise,
life.
yeah, otherwise his own life is forfeited. So this whole time, she's thinking he's going to kill her at any minute, and now the tables have turned. He has to keep her alive. So
Can you imagine, like, at this point, he's like, I'm fucking shackled to this weakling? Like, I was
yeah,
helping her just for her sake, and now,
now I'm really stuck.
yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy. So then, of course, here comes Dane accusing Xaden of manipulating the results. And Xaden tells Dane that he would have done the same thing.
Mhm.
But then Dane says no, that he would have followed the rules. And that totally disappoints Violet because she's like, I'm your oldest friend here, and you wouldn't even manipulate the rules for me. Like, that sucks.
She was gutted by that.
Yeah.
I know.
Because did he kiss her right after threshing?
Yes. So
Did we
then he
skip
goes and he
Yeah.
kisses her.
In the
And
field. Yeah.
yeah, like after this whole thing, like, of course she's going to react the way I mean,
Yeah.
she wanted it for so long because she always kind of had a thing for him. But then he goes and he does that. And then he kisses her and she feels nothing for him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, oh, this is
which,
like an awkward brother kiss.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
When's this gonna be
Um,
over?
yeah. She realizes that he was trying to protect her, but he never like actually believed in her and encouraged her. And she's starting to realize that too. So good for her. Good for you,
Mhm.
Violet.
He's not willing to put her first above like his daddy's rules, like
Right.
Right.
which is
Exactly.
The
unattractive,
rules of the quadrant.
Yeah.
attractive quality.
No. Daddy issues.
So then the next morning, Imogen and Quinn, which are part of Xaden's like that crew, end up joining Rhiannon and Violet for breakfast, and they're kind of like, "What is going on? Like, why are you sitting with me?" But Taryn tells Violet that she can trust them, right? Because he's talking to her in her head. And then Imogen ends up helping, like offering to help Violet with her sparring. And I think at this point, Rhiannon was kind of like upset, like, I'm helping her with the sparring. And Imogen's like, no, no, I got it. I'm going to help Violet going forward from here. So they kind of just start sparring together. Violet also has to start practicing flying with Taryn, but not with Andarna because Andarna, since she's still like a juvenile, she can't bear Violet's weight yet. And even at that, Violet keeps falling off of Taryn. So like it's like a whole struggle thing. Which was frustrating. I remember reading
Yeah.
this and being like, oh my God,
Like you
just
made
stay
it all
on,
this
just
way.
do it. Yeah, exactly. Like you're strong, you can do it, and you keep falling off. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I can imagine I would fall off a dragon too.
Oh,
Especially the
absolutely.
biggest dragon out
I
there.
don't know how they
Absolutely.
stay on. And they like ride these dragons for miles and
Yeah, are they like
hours and
holding
hours.
on to their scales? Like what is happening?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, are the scales kind of like lifted a little too? Or are we talking like hair scales where like there's spikes in the back? Like, what are they holding on to?
Well, some of
Why
them do have spikes.
Right.
They
Like,
mention it.
why can't there just be a saddle? Like,
Right, like why
well,
can't they all like have a seat like a
mm-hmm,
horse?
mm-hmm. Oh,
Dragons
but
don't answer to humans.
yeah,
yeah.
there's no way they're gonna do that.
No.
No.
Except,
Hmm.
moving on. So,
Or do they?
yeah. Dun dun dun. So Violet ends up visiting the archives and she meets her old friend there named Jacinia, and she happens to be deaf. So a lot of the communication is done through sign language, which I think is like super
I
cool.
love that.
Hmm.
Right. She asks her to find a book. It's a folklore collection that Violet's dad used to share with her when she was younger. And I think it's because she started getting interested in the wyverns. There was something that came up earlier in their studies, and I don't remember exactly what it was at this point, but I know that she started she wanted to get that book because she wanted a little bit more information on it. Like had like all these folklore creatures
Yeah,
from
she's very inquisitive.
mythical. Yeah. So basically she can't find it. Justina can't find it, but I think she's gonna keep looking anyways. Um, so some of the group had started developing their signets, and Sawyer is one of the first ones to develop it, and he's a metallurgist, which means that he can manipulate metal. So that's pretty cool. Good for
Hmm.
Sawyer, being that this was the
Yay.
second time around, and he got his dragon and he got his signet. I think they have like so many months to develop their signet too.
Hmm.
Like if they don't do it within like a year, then
I think it's
they
shorter than that. I
explode.
think
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
it's a couple months.
months. I think the power like burns them alive from inside.
Right, because they can't release it or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
So
scary.
they're kind of on a time crunch here. So it's getting exciting. Um,
No, it
so
says
then
6 months.
6 months. I wanted to say
Hmm.
9, but okay, so it's 6.
Oh, there you go.
So one night, a group of unbonded cadets end up attacking Violet because they don't have a dragon and she has the biggest and best dragon, and they want that dragon because who wouldn't? He's grumpy and he's awesome.
Grumpy.
I love a grumpy pet.
I know he is
Let me
super
just tell you,
grumpy.
he is so grumpy and I love him. And side note on the Bewitched series that I was reading with Laura
Mhm.
Thalassia, like
Her.
Thalassa.
The last.
There's a grumpy pet in that, and I absolutely love that pet as
Oh.
well.
Love
Yeah.
that.
So just in case you like grumpy pets like me, that's another book.
I do.
There you go. So basically they're coming to attack her because if they kill her, then that leaves her dragon up for grabs, and they basically want to get the respect of the dragon and hopefully they can take over. Um, Violet, our girl, she ends up surviving, but this time it's with the help of Andarna. Super cool. She helps
That
her freeze
golden
time.
dragon.
That's the
Yes,
golden
that was
dragon.
so cool that she could freeze time.
That was
So
awesome.
basically, like the whole room freezes. Xaden knows something's going on, and he storms in the room before anyone else. And then the time picks up. Like, what a cool scene, right? And then he starts
Yeah.
like slashing them all, and yeah, kills them all.
Like the shadow part is so cool because he could hit somebody and then his shadows can go and then attack the other people. That's
We
pretty
Hmm.
love it. We
badass.
love
That's
a
such like a
shadow
cool
daddy.
signet.
We love a shadow daddy.
Um, yeah. And then I think his shadows end up like choking the attackers too. So
So
Hmm.
that's
good.
pretty cool.
So good.
So then we find out a little bit more about Andarna. So she's a juvenile dragon, but she's also an orphan. How
Mm.
sad. And Taryn and Segal. Oh my God, Jenna.
I'm sorry, I said it wrong, and now I ruined
Gail.
it.
Gail.
No,
The Gale.
it's kind of like, okay, side note, at the pharmacy, like sometimes people come in and they say pronounce drugs the wrong way, and then you start pronouncing the drugs that way, and
Yes.
you're like, damn it, I know it's not pronounced that way, and now I have to say it that way. So it's kind of like that, but not Seagal,
Mhm.
not Steven Seagal, it's
Not
Segal.
Steven Seagal.
I'm sorry.
um, so Taryn and Segal,
Gale.
they basically took Andarna under their wing, right? And they're
Mhm.
like her foster
Foster parent.
parents.
So cute.
So cute. Um, so they're raising her, but okay, so when you have a juvenile dragon, um, they have powers, and her power is to stop time, which she basically gave to Violet, but in doing so, it's not necessarily a signet, it's just a power that they have, and eventually it'll go away. But it's supposed to like zap so much
Mm,
from the juvenile dragon, which if you take too much, then can end up killing him.
mhm,
So because of this thing, they don't want that secret to get out. So Xaden also knows. So Xaden and Violet, and then of course the dragons decide to keep that a secret from everybody else because they don't want, anyone. I mean,
Right,
look at
because
this. They're trying to attack her for
exactly.
Aaron. So
and
imagine
like
what they would
doesn't
do with that.
Darna like go into like a forever sleep? Not
No,
forever.
that's later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So I mean, eventually it's going to go away. She does have to go into a sleep to become an adult
She
dragon.
is weakened here and she is like resting a
Yes,
lot and she's
she
not
does have
up
to
to
sleep.
hmm
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, but every juvenile dragon like goes
goes
through
into
like
it. It's
their
called a
like
Yes.
dreamless, yeah, dreamless sleep.
Yes.
to become an adult. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So because this book is like so jam-packed with information and everything going on, like we have what, 5 pages of notes. We're
Mhm.
gonna make our own little intermission session here. And we
Hmm.
can segue to anything we want to deep dive on so far. If we want to go into our listener engagement, we can do that. And
We have
then
a
next
lot.
episode, we can pick up.
We have a lot of listener engagement polls that we did for the Fourth Wing
Yay.
series.
Okay.
But Danielle, do you have any deep dive discussions before I pull them up?
Not right now here. Other than, at this point, I was just like, oh shit, okay, so everybody's really trying to kill her, and she's really got to like rise above this and work with Xaden because they're both being sassy to each other. So I'm like,
Mhm.
how's
Oh,
this gonna
yeah.
work out? Like he was so sassy to her, and she's just giving it right back.
Yeah.
I loved it, but her
I was a
mom has
fan of
like,
Violet here.
yeah, and her mom is just like doesn't care, MIA, hasn't acknowledged her,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's just like she's I don't know, really learning on her own, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of hard too to like deep dive into things right now since we're kind of in the middle and we don't want to necessarily do spoilers, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
hopefully at the end of the next one we can have some.
at the end of the next one, especially with the certain character point of views,
Mm,
it'll definitely be
Hmm.
a nice little deep dive discussion.
But this
yeah.
book was so good. Like it was like nonstop. I loved everything
Uh-huh.
about it. Like at this point, there wasn't like a boring chapter. You're just like,
No.
okay, let me keep going. Let me keep going.
Yeah,
So,
it's a great
Right.
book.
And Jenna, this was the first book that you read to get you into fantasy, right?
hmm
This was my gateway drug. This
there you go.
um and it was because it was like free on like graphic audio on Audible like that week a year ago. And what a year it's been, you know?
It's
It's
so
a
funny,
wild ride.
right? Because it's good because
Nice
it's
to have one I
ACOTAR is very heavy in a lot of fae and
Mhm.
a lot of everything, creatures, and this is tamer, I would say, in
Mhm.
the sense that like they're humans. I mean, but they
Yeah.
Yeah.
get like powers. So like it's definitely a good entrance into the romantasy genre.
And it's
Guys,
very like war heavy too. Like I feel like
hmm
there's a lot of war talk.
yeah.
So that
Yeah.
sometimes that kind of like I don't understand what's going on, but it's still
So
good.
according to my Goodreads, I finished this book on May 3rd, 2024. So it hasn't even been a full year of
Wow. And how many books have
Wow.
you read since?
how many fantasy books have I read?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
like
gosh.
50 since then. Like who the hell knows?
Who the hell
Um
knows?
yeah, this was my gateway drug. Like for real,
I
it's a
love
drug.
that.
It's like what is that math? 9 months later,
That would be you had a baby.
I
Oh
had
my
a
God.
baby
You
and
had a
it's
fantasy
called
baby.
it's called Romantasy.
It's called Sips with the
Romanticized.
Cereal. That's what it's called.
Oh, can you
Yeah.
believe? Can you believe in that 9 month period of me being obsessed and then forcing both of you, I was like,
Yeah.
someone else needs to go down this sick
Yeah.
obsession I have with me.
Well, because we both said we were going to read ACOTAR, and then you went and read this first, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I read the first ACOTAR book in May.
Because I was like, Akatar sounds weird. What did I know? I was like, let me start with this cool dragon war stuff first. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And Iron Flame wasn't out yet. I was like, okay. And then let me hop over to Court of Thorns and Roses. And I was like, what's happening? This is amazing.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
so funny
And
because this is
yeah.
totally like not my genre. Like I was all about thrillers, psychological
Same.
thrillers, mysteries. Like,
Same.
yes, give me all of that.
Same.
And then Jenna's like, "Hey," I'm like, nah, it's
You were
okay.
like,
I'm
nah.
good.
And I
I'm
was like,
good."
girl, trust me. I made fun of fantasy books all the time. I was the same. I was just like, nope, thrillers, mysteries, historical fiction
Yeah,
only.
yeah.
hmm
And then I tried,
Boom.
and then here we are
Yep. Here
with
you
our
go.
own
Thank
podcast.
God. Thank
Thank God.
God.
Thank God. Okay, so if we go into our listener engagement poll that we put on before every episode, we do a poll based on the books that we're reading for our Instagram followers. We asked a couple questions. So question number one was, what signet would you like if you could choose? And a lot of people said teleportation, aka distance walking, is what they call it in
Oh yeah, yeah.
hmm
we've got a lot of that. We got shadows, so a Xaden shadow daddy. Um, someone said intrinsic,
No.
Oh,
or someone else said a fire wielder.
oh,
Um,
I like Rhiannon's. We didn't talk about it yet because we're not there yet, but should I? No, I'm not going to say it then.
is she like telekinesis or something?
Yeah, she's a summoner.
Summoner, yeah.
hmm
which
Um,
is the one? Is it Quinn that she has? Is it Quinn
No,
that
Quinn
has
is
like where?
with Imogen, right? Oh, go
Is
ahead.
that the one where she can like project herself? Like she can make herself in
oh,
two
I don't know.
places?
Imogen
Yeah.
is a mind eraser. She can
Yeah,
erase
yeah,
people's
yeah.
memories,
Quinn
which
is the one
sounds
who does.
Right.
Hmm
I think that's cool.
Gareth's. Someone said Gareth's signet, which is time walking. More distance walking, teleportation. Okay, and then our other question was, what color dragon would you want if you were a rider? So
I
there's
had asked Matt, and he said black.
of course not.
Yeah.
So I split
Not
it up.
knowing anything about the book, I was just like, "What color dragon do you want?" Black.
Not
I
would
didn't
you
say
want, it's
they're
do you
always the
want?
biggest. Yeah, right.
Most
Yeah, do you want?
powerful
I have one
dragon.
in the backyard. What one do you want?
I got some dragon eggs here.
So I you can only like put four choices at a time, so I had to split them up. So the first one was between brown, black, orange, and green. 70% said black, 7% said orange, and 23% said green. Aren't orange ones
Yeah,
bad?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say spoiler alert, but the orange are evil.
Yeah.
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 And then the other one was golden, red, or blue. No one chose red. 73% said golden, so baby
Of
and
course.
Mm-hmm.
Darna.
Of
And
course.
27 said blue.
Well, Sigale is blue.
True,
Mm-hmm.
true, 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 true.
She's scary.
She is.
Don't mess with her. You don't
No.
mess with
Mm-mm.
her. And then I did two more. So then there's been a lot of rumors about the TV show Fourth Wing happening, right?
Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And there's a rumor that this sexy actor, Joshua Houston, I think his name is,
Yeah.
um,
Uh-huh.
might be our Xaden in the movie, or the TV series. I'm sorry, the TV series that, uh, who's doing it? Is it Netflix or Prime or
It was
I don't
Netflix. I don't know if it changed.
I don't know. Anyway, so because like they were rumored, and then if you go on his Instagram, he added a dragon emoji in his bio.
Oh.
Oh.
Um, a lot of people are like, he's too, he's not, big and bulky enough for it to be our
Yeah.
Zayden. And a lot of people are like, he's the perfect Bodhi because Bodhi is Zayden's cousin and has similar
Mm-hmm.
coloring. Rebecca Yarros in an interview did confirm that the most important thing to her was that Xaden is a person of color, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how it should be in the series. So I love that. So I did a poll said, do you think that he could be our Xaden? And it was close. 65, well, ish. 65% said yes, and 35% no. A lot of people kept saying, he's Bodhi, he's Bodhi, he's Bodhi, he's not Xaden.
Oh.
So anyway, maybe he is Bodhi and he just got casted first.
True.
Yeah. I
And then
mean, hope so.
we're obviously not going to say any spoilers because I'm not done Onyx Storm, Dina's not done,
No.
but I did put up a poll saying, are you savoring Onyx Storm, which is the third book in this fourth wing series, or are you speeding through like my crazy friends?
I
Uh,
know I can't because you don't know, like Jenna said, you don't know when the next one's going to come out. So
I
why
heard
would
it's
you do that to yourself?
2027. It's 2 years.
That's crazy. I
I'm gonna
can't.
forget everything by then.
Oh yeah. Like I just read Iron Flame, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I'm like, wait, what?
So
Wow.
74% said that they were savoring and
Mm.
26% said they're speeding. I am savoring. I am only on chapter 11
Mm-hmm.
I'm
and it's
just
only been
worried
out
that
for
they're
a week.
gonna well, I'm just worried they're gonna start putting spoilers. I'm starting to see
I
a lot
know.
more reels.
I know.
At least
But
the ones I've seen aren't spoiling anything, but
people
I
are being
relate to
nice
them.
and they'll put like a little
Oh,
spoiler alert
good.
coming and I'll just whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll do it like that.
I'm not even, nope, I'm not looking at anything.
I do
Not
think a lot
interested.
happened though. So I'm kind of excited and very scared.
Yeah, my friend said that she was in tears
I
and
know I
needs
read
to
her,
and needs to she said, I think I need to reread that because I'm so upset.
Oh
that's awful.
no.
She's
See,
like to process it.
like I don't know, is she going to kill somebody I don't want her to kill, or is she going to kill a dragon? I'm very nervous she's going to kill a dragon.
The way
Very
Steph said
nervous.
it, I'm assuming it was Steph. I, I'm very, very scared and sad. I don't know who it's going to
Right?
be.
I think it's
Right.
going to be a dragon and a person.
I don't want to talk about it. I can't
I
think
mean,
about it
technically, if
because,
the dragon dies, the person dies. So yeah.
listen, each book has, the two that I've read so far have been sad at the end. I
Yeah.
don't want to be sad again.
Right.
She
You're
did
Can I
rip
right.
my
not be
heart out
sad?
in the first one
Yes.
Totally. Totally. And the second.
and the second.
Girl knows how to
Oh,
make us cry.
yeah.
Worse.
So
It's
we
crazy.
gave Fourth Wing a 5 goblet rating, which if you don't know
Totes.
our rating scale, we do goblets instead of stars. And it's for like obvious reasons. We'll get into it more for part two, but for now, just know that it is a 5 goblet.
Hmm.
And Dina's, this is my favorite segment. Hit it.
Okay, so on the nightstand segment, so this is a section where we just briefly discuss the book. Briefly, we just name some of the books that is on our TBR list or what we're reading right now. I mean, obviously, all three of us are reading Onyx Storm. We don't have to go into more of that. But girls, what are y'all reading,
I'm
or what's
taking
on your
baby
TBR?
steps on Onyx Storm. I will finish Air of Fire hopefully in the
Yay!
next week or two. I need to finish it. It needs to move on. I need to get
Yeah,
to the next one. But I did start on Audible Quicksilver. I know. Wait,
You
Dina,
did
did you
not
read
tell
that?
me that.
I just hit it the other day. And I was still
Ooh.
reeling from Iron Flame. So then I had to pause it because I was like, I can't focus right now. Like, this is supposed to be such a hot read.
It is
And
a
I was
hot
like,
read.
still so, like, in my feelings. So, like, I had to pause it.
You couldn't
So I'm
move
not very
on.
far. I really couldn't. But yeah. Wait, Dina, did you read Quicksilver or no?
No, but I got
Okay.
it when Audible. We are partners with Audible, by the way.
Woo!
I did get it when they had their sale. So I got, I don't know, it was like $5 or
So
something.
worth
Love
it.
it.
Yeah.
Because people who are Audible listeners, and if you liked Rasanne's voice in the graphic audio of the Akatar series, our man comes and he does Kingfisher's voice in Quicksilver, and it is so hot,
Hmm.
so good.
I know.
And so it's like dual narration in Quicksilver. It's female
Yay.
and a male voice, and it's so good. It's so good.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited too.
Yay. All right, go ahead, you guys.
Dina, you
Jenna?
go.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
What am I reading? Oh, I'm reading book 2 for J.E. Larson's The Trial of the Heart. Yeah. Super awesome. Love it. I'm a little bit over halfway done with it.
You
So,
haven't
yeah,
told me. I love that book so much.
it's so good. I didn't realize how much. I mean, I loved the first book, but I had put the second book aside because of other things that I was doing. So, like getting back into it, I was like, oh my God, I love Daxton so much.
Boston Asian. What a
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Ice
yeah.
Daddy, right? This is
Ice
Ice Daddy.
Daddy.
Ice Daddy.
Not a Shadow Daddy, he's an Ice
Do I
Daddy.
have this book on my Goodreads? What's it called
So
again?
it's one of our
Oh, right. I
our
do
arc,
have it on there.
and we
Hmm.
are interviewing her
Hmm.
come March, I believe.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and I can't wait because I'm obsessed with her books.
And
And
she's so cool because like she'll talk to us too through
yeah,
Instagram. So I'm
She's very
excited to
cool.
have her
lives
on.
lives in Alaska. How fun.
Yeah.
That's very
Alaska.
cool.
Yeah. So I'm reading that. So I'm excited to finish that. And then I just finished the Bewitched series. Um,
Wow.
I am a fan. I
How many
can't
are in
wait
there?
for
Two?
that one is 2 out right now. She's gonna release the third one, which I think is a prequel, and that comes out this July.
Mhm.
And then I think it has at least one more book.
Gotcha.
So I'm also a fan of that series.
Love it.
But yeah, that's all right now.
So I had just finished book 2 in the Bargainer series of
Ah,
Sabek. I finished A Strange Hymn, which was glorious because it is Desmond's point of view.
hmm hmm
And if you do it on Audible, it's the guy's voices. I texted Dina. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me with this accent this guy's doing right now? This is phenomenal." I was like on the treadmill at the gym and I pressed play and the guy's voice came on and I was like,
What?
stopped the treadmill, texted Dina. I was like, "What is amazingness?"
Oh,
So,
all right. Got to
and
listen
it
to the audio then.
and it's short, so it was just like
Yeah.
lovely. And at the end of it, Danielle, I'm very sorry, but me and Dina discussed it. And I was like, at the end of that book, I was like, is Desmond Flynn my number one book boyfriend over Rand?
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
the front door.
I want to say I reviewed on Goodreads that he rivals Rysand. Like it's very,
Which I didn't think was
yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
I did not think that was possible.
Oh, no.
I
But
was almost scared to tell you that that's the way I felt.
So he's only in the third book?
no, no,
No,
no, no,
no.
no, no, no.
Oh, he's in all of them, but the
He's in
audible.
all of them, but it's his point of view in the second book, which is
Oh, okay. So you don't hear his voice in the.
no, the
Okay.
female does it. But
Yeah.
she does a
Which she
cool
does.
accent.
Yeah. I actually really liked her doing his
Yeah.
accent. I was like,
I
oh,
like her narration.
nice.
Oh,
I like
okay.
her narration.
All right, because
Yes.
I have that downloaded, but
So
I
this is
didn't
all
read it.
by Laura Thalassa, which I want to get her on the podcast so
Yeah.
bad because her writing is hilarious. Like I'm
Yeah.
reading The Emperor of Evening Stars, which is the third book in the Bargainer series. And her writing is just hilarious and her characters are so great. The female main character who, I'm always hard on, like I actually like this one. Like usually I have a hard
Hmm.
time liking them and she's great. Yeah, I mean I love it.
Okay.
So,
All right. I have it downloaded, so
Yes.
ready to read that one next.
hmm Um, what else? So yeah, Onyx Storm, I'm reading The Emperor of the Evening Stars and that's it, guys. I'm really trying to
Hone in on
my
one.
brain can't focus on more than those two right now just because Onyx Storm is such
Uh-huh.
a beast and I want to give it my full
No, it
attention.
deserves it.
It does
Yeah,
just,
I know. I had three going at once. I had Onyx Storm as one of them, and I was like, I cannot. Like, I need to finish this other one so that I can just solely focus
yeah.
on
Yeah.
Onyx Storm because it's just, yeah,
Yep. It's a beast.
I don't
so
want to
odd for
finish it.
us.
I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to finish it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Lulu saw me reading Air Fire and she goes, Mommy, don't forget that special one you just bought. 'Cause she was at the
Oh,
Barnes and Noble. I was like, I know. And I was like petting it.
That's so
it's so
cute. That's
pretty.
so That's so funny. Oh my gosh. All right. What else? That's pretty much it for our segment here, right?
Yeah. Stay
All
tuned
right.
Until
for part
Next
the
two.
week is
next one.
part two.
Mhm.
Part two of Fourth Wing. All right, Day.
All right, so make sure you guys follow us everywhere you listen, rate and review, please. Please follow us on Instagram at Sips with the Suriel, Suriel. Click our link tree bio and follow us on Goodreads. We will also put our episodes each week on YouTube, so please subscribe and like. Same name, Sips with the Suriel, and follow Creative Little Pill for all of your podcast art and digital art needs. All right, friends, have a lovely, lovely day and keep reading to whatever end.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.